So my first question for you for this YouTube case study or YouTube interview is how often do you use technology through your daily life?
I use Instagram and Snapchat, and the email on my phone is what I use it through, and probably check it 2 to 3 times a day.
Okay, so talk to me about one of those apps that you use, say Instagram. How often do you use it? Maybe how often do you check it through each day?
I check it periodically, probably 2 to 3 times a day, unless I know somebody's on like a trip or something and I want to see how their trip's going, and they're normally posting stuff about that, and I can check it more often if that's happening.
Okay. Now you're obviously a lot older than what I am, and technology wasn't well, and especially like apps these days weren't around when you were younger. So how do you feel like technology and apps and those kinds of things have impacted the world, maybe in a positive way or a negative way?
I think in a positive way that people are able to communicate with each other and to see what's happening worldwide in an instant. In a negative way, I believe that because people can react in an instant, nobody takes time to think about anything and they respond instantly. And you used to have to go home and ask permission to use the dial-up phone because there was only one way to communicate, and that sometimes it took or had a better, I guess, outcome when people had more time to think about how they were going to react to things.
Okay, we're gonna go more in depth with that, what you just said. So with people, what they see nowadays that they may not like and they react right away. Are you the type of person that when you see something, do you go and do more research on it, or do you kind of just react right away to it?
I normally do not react right away. I'll find out a little bit more information about it because I want to know if it's really true and if it's really happening. If it's happening in an area though, like that I know I have friends and family, I can contact them through the social media apps to be able to find out, if this is really happening and how everyone is faring and how it's coming out.
And then a couple last questions. You have children, obviously. How do you think the social media world has impacted them and how it will continue to impact them as the years go on?
I think for the children, everything is too accessible. And I also believe that they're not learning to have communication between people. And I think that the internet should be limited, or the access to the internet should be limited, because people are too focused on their phones. I mean, when you're walking down the street and you bump into somebody because you don't have your head up, you're on your phone too much. Or when you're having dinner with people and people are on their phones, people need to realize that the world goes on around them and they need to remember how to communicate with each other.
And one final question. What is your specific outlook on social media and what changes could you possibly see in the future?
My outlook on social media is that sometimes people need to learn how to unplug, and that's going to become a new phase for people to unplug just to be able to get out of it. And as far as social media, I don't think anybody's going to be able to stop it. I think it's going to continue and have everybody be affected by it and the outcome of it. And there's going to be good and bad, and you're going to have to learn to deal with it.
All right. Well, that's all I have for you. Thank you for doing the interview with me. This is Cory Zimmerman for the older adult interview on social media.